Welcome, everybody. I am the author of What is a Psychometrist at Freenmood.com, and today I want to give you guys a little bit more information about the psychometrist. So, as you may already know, just by reading the article above, the psychometrist is essentially a person who applies psychometric knowledge to a practical setting, like a hospital and a school. What you might not know is that it's also an excellent resource for getting into graduate school. But don't just take my opinion about it. Essentially, got the information that shows that being a psychometrist and working with a psychologist is an excellent way for getting into a graduate degree in psychology. So, this is the APA website. I'm going to go over here, I'm going to look at this tab here, and I see members, topics, publications, and databases, science, education, and career. We're going to click education and career. Once you get to this page, I want you guys to look at these blue links that are underlined here. We've got psychology, careers, continuing education. We're going to want to click higher education because we're wanting to apply to graduate school. Now, we're going to go ahead and look at the right column, the first tab, applying to graduate school. All right, and we're going to scroll down here and look at these three left rows. We're going to click before you apply and prepare and applying for graduate school. This is one of the psychologists that work at APA, which is his name is Dr. John Norcross. He and his colleague have created a video series, essentially divided into 12 parts, that essentially speak about the major sections and steps you would need to follow in order to get into a graduate program in psychology. So essentially, this is where I got my information from, and it was number 4. See here, getting the necessary courses, research, and experience. So we're going to go ahead and click that. If you don't have an account, I highly suggest creating one. It is free. You don't need to pay anything whatsoever, and essentially, it gives you the most detailed information and accurate that you could possibly ask for being a beginner at this. So we're going to want to click view content, all right, and that's what it kind of looks like at the beginning, okay, what you need. I'm going to exit this, and we're going to go to our PowerPoint. This is it. It's just a little bit cleaner, so it's easier to think. So here we go. The APA divided that series of videos, and it shows you exactly what you need to apply to a graduate degree in psychology, whether that be a master's or a doctorate program, okay? And here we go, we've got it listed. You probably know already the GPA is a very important one, our undergraduate courses, extracurricular activities, GRE scores, research experience, and there we have it, practical and clinical experience. So a psychometrist's job, essentially, is clinical experience, all right? And this is vital for those who are going into clinical and counseling, especially. It's necessary. You can't get in without it. So here we go. How you might ask yourself, how could you get this sort of clinical experience? Well, of course, I just said, the psychometrist is one of the ways of being of getting your clinical experience. But there's also other ways. Here we've got summer camps, all the way to the homes for developmentally and mentally disabled. That's there. Okay, so those are the avenues. And what exactly are the requirements for the APA? So essentially, the APA recommends that each undergraduate or anybody who is applying to graduate school obtains 2 experiences of at least 100 hours each. The psychometrist role can be offered as a part-time role, but like I said in my article, it is super important that you do gain enough hours in order to truly just download that information, make it your own, get a feel for the job, and also enjoy your time. You don't want to be rushing. I understand some of us are super busy, but and this doesn't apply to everybody, if it is something that you're passionate about and that you want to do, no matter what, I suggest being a full-time psychometrist. You also get to know the psychologist at a deeper and more personal level, and this could really help you when it comes to completing all the other requirements for getting into graduate school, like, writing in your CV or recommendation letters, etc. So as you see here, it says that the clinical experience is not as important as your GPA or research experience. And this is because a lot of the subfields don't require clinical experience. PsyDs are mainly research based, or sorry, PhDs are mainly research based, whereas PsyDs are more clinical. But don't let that fool you, because just because it's half the important, it carries half the importance, does not mean that it should be neglected. In fact, if you have strong suits, strong cards in each of the requirements, you are more likely to get into any program of your choice. So I'm not giving you the basics. I'm teaching you how you could reach, how I can guarantee that you're going to get into graduate school. Okay? I want to give you an example of what a CV looks like. Now, this is the supplemental handout that was prepared by the John C. Norcross and Thomas P. Hogan from the APA. Okay, this is just extra information that they decided to share with us because they thought it could be useful. And actually, I think it's quite useful. It showed me how to prepare my CV and actually get the role of the psychometrist, because before that, I didn't really know what format I should use my CV, put my CV in, and etc. So over here, we've got our typical format, but you see name, address, telephone. But below here, we've got clinical experience, and that's where you want to put in the psychometrist role. You're going to go ahead and fill that out, put whichever establishment you've completed it in, whether that be a hospital or a school or wherever, and then your time there, and then your roles, essentially administering, testing, scoring, and building rapport with patients. But there's many more, and as you take your time and do those things, you will realize that there are many other roles that just are maybe more less obvious. And then your supervisor, and this is going to be essential because it's so rare for an undergraduate or anybody to have as a direct supervisor within the clinical experience domain to be a actual licensed psychologist. So you're very lucky. Okay, and so you'll put that down, and you put your hours, your weekly hours. I do 40, so mine will also be 40. And yeah, you'll complete the rest of research experience, professional honor societies, everything else. But your psychometrist role will count as one very strong clinical experience, and that will not only, it will just make your CV shine. I've actually met some psychologists that I actually work with that used to be psychometrists, so it is for certain that this is a certain path to become a psychologist if that's what you're interested in. So feel free to read through this. I'm going to attach this link at the bottom of this article so that you guys have the liberty to download it and read it if you wish. So yeah, that's me, and I will. Thanks for listening, and I will be back with some more information. All right, thanks. Bye.